Welcome to the Heat with Keats, everyone. I'm your host, Nikita. I have a very special guest today. It's Mrii. How are you? Yes, thank you for coming. So you came from the West End, right? Yeah, I've had a lot of guests come from the West, so thanks for coming again. So yeah, let's get started. I'm really excited to talk to you about what you've been working on and stuff. But first, so just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're doing and who you are, and let them know what's going on.
Okay, so my name is Mrii. I am a producer, engineer, DJ, singer, songwriter, and event producer. And I've been making music since 2017. I've been singing my whole life, like learning and teaching music, performing since I was a kid, since before I could remember. But I started making music and DJing when I was in high school, and then moving on to like getting into like a professional career. Like when I went to post-secondary school, I went to school for music. So
Amazing.
yeah,
Wow.
it was really cool. And since graduating in 2020, I've just been like doing it full time. So I have a studio
Wow.
at home in Brampton, and like yeah, I've just been going at it.
I love how that's you have like you're wearing a lot of hats. You're doing a lot, so that's excellent. Um so what inspired this passion in music production specifically for you?
Specifically, so what it was that like I started off with DJing when I was in high school, and every time I DJ, I'd always get ideas for like
Oh, really?
producing. And
Mhm.
then like I started listening to a lot of R&B around then too. Like I listened to a lot of SZA. She just dropped Control back then.
Okay, I
And
remember this time.
yeah, and as soon as I heard that album, I was just really like, I just like found my voice, I found the sound and like what I really
You
wanted.
connected.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, that just made me like really want to just learn how to make it. Like I just, as soon as I listened to that album, I opened up Logic Pro. My dad had it on the computer at
Oh my
home.
God, wow.
Yeah, and
I
then
like
I just
Logic.
like tried to learn how to make it. And
That's
yeah.
fantastic. So you started obviously with DJing,
Hmm.
and then you hear these sounds. You're sonically, absorbing all these sounds and stuff, and then you genuinely was like, "Wait a second, I want to reproduce and create this on
Hmm.
my own." I've never heard that before. That's very impressive. So tell us a little bit about like the DAW you were using. You said you were using Logic.
Hmm.
What was the learning curve for you? Like, did you have someone help you learn that? I know you went to school, but were you self-taught initially?
Initially, yes. So I opened it up and I had no idea what I was doing. Like I didn't even know like how the keys worked. Like I was using like stock sounds,
Okay,
and
yeah.
they had like all these drum kits and stuff, and I just didn't understand. Like now I know that like there's like a kick, and like every drum kit is almost laid out the same, like
Yeah.
from like C1 till like the end of the keys.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'd be like searching up like how does this even work, and it was just like the learning curve was essentially just me pressing random buttons and just finding
Yeah,
things
trial
that
and
sounded.
error, right?
Yeah,
It's very technical.
it is.
And you don't always see like young girls doing it. Like we tend to usually go towards the singing, dancing, artistic side of
Yeah.
it. You've taken like a very technical approach with all of this. So what what do you find is the most challenging for you as a woman in this business of producing and engineering? Like, what's your battles? What's your challenges with it?
So the challenges I get would mostly be like a social thing,
Really?
Yeah.
Explain.
So, like being a girl, and not just a girl, but being like, I feel like I look pretty young and like
Yeah.
naive, and people would most of the time misjudge me and just like undermine me, I guess, cuz they just
Underestimate.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like that's like one of the biggest things, I guess. And like because of that, I get treated differently a lot. I get overlooked or like spoken over a lot in situations. And it's just like, okay, like I have to like speak a little louder or like push a little harder sometimes, or like go the extra mile to prove myself sometimes, which I don't really like to do, because it's like if you don't see it, then you don't. Somebody else will. But yeah.
So how do you feel when you prove them wrong?
It feels good. It feels
It
really
feels good, right?
Yeah, it does.
And you allow your work to speak for you.
Yes.
I like that you said that. That's the humble way to do it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So can you give us like an example of where that's happened? You don't have to say like specifics, but like give us an example.
The biggest and then like the most time that this has happened, like this is like where it happened the most. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Was when I was at school.
Okay.
For music.
Really?
So,
That's one place where you wouldn't think.
Right? Yeah.
You're learning there.
Me too. But yeah, and I think it's because like you said, like most like girls, I don't want to say most girls because like that sounds weird, but like a lot of girls tend to go towards like the singing and that's side of it. And which is great too, because like I feel like we're really good at that because we're so like naturally creative. But like because of the rest of the population of the school was like mostly male dominated, and then the girls were mostly just singing and like not really into like the technical stuff. I was also kind of pushed into that, and then like every time I would want to like enter the conversation, or like sometimes I know more than like the people around me who are talking louder than me and stuff. And yeah, like that's basically it. Like there is when it would happen the most.
So that's pretty cool that you can overcome that and you don't allow it to affect you negatively, but it is something that you have in the back of your mind, like, okay, I might have to improve myself a little bit more. But when it comes to producing and engineering, what do you have more fun mixing and working with? Like singers, rappers, or just straight beats? Like what do you prefer to what do you find more enjoyable to work with?
The most fun I have is with melodic rap and singing. Like singing where it's like there's like a lot of intricate layers. Like
give us an artist.
Yeah. This guy named Aishvan, he's like an R&B singer, like dark R&B.
Oh, I love dark R&B.
Yeah, and he sings sort of like The Weeknd mixed with Labyrinth. Lots of like good vibes there, and like yeah, his music is crazy. Like he sings so well, and then sends me like a bunch of stems of like layers and layers of vocal harmonies, and then
you like working with that.
I love it. It's so much fun.
That's awesome, because I remember working with some engineers in the States, and they sort of get like overwhelmed with too many stems. But I love like the harmonies. Like
I love it.
Yeah, the mezzo, soprano, alto, all the different things, and like making harmonies out of it. Do you? Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to ask you. So this is like I'm curious in this. Simba, what are you like? What's more enjoyable for you, DJing club events or producing music in the studio? Which one doesn't feel like work for you?
That's a hard one.
Yeah,
they both in their own ways do feel like work, but also they don't. Like they're so much fun. Oh, that's so hard to choose from. As of lately, it's the club events. It's so much fun. Why? Because when I'm there, it's like nothing else matters. You know, I'm just playing the music that I like and vibing out on my own, making sure that other people are vibing. And like I'm literally just putting my energy out, and it's like a direct return, you know?
Yeah.
And I really like that.
So the crowd is absorbing what you're giving them. You're literally a performer.
Yeah. Like
in the recent years, I think DJs have become literal artists.
They are, yeah.
When it comes to doing your club events, where would you like to perform? Like, do you have a festival in mind, or a particular concert, or a particular artist that you would like to go on tour with? Like, what's your goal?
Yes. As a DJ?
Overall, like your whole artist persona. But yeah, DJ too.
As a DJ, I would love to tour with artists like BK the Rula, anybody on Opium, even Amine, if I could. I love them.
I'm not sure of some of these names. I have to look them up.
Yeah, they're really good artists.
Okay.
Just check them out. And then as an artist, like as a singer, because I DJ in a specific way. I play more like hip hop, trap.
Yeah, I've watched your stuff. I like your videos.
Thank you. Yeah. And then as a singer, I'm in like the R&B, alternative R&B space, and I would love to tour with this artist named Mrii.
I think I've heard of that.
Yes. Or Destin Conrad.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay.
Like I love them, and like that's kind of where I see myself sitting. I have like a little pocket with a little bit of inspiration from them and like other things. So I feel like I'd love to tour with them.
So you have aspirations to work with certain people. Yeah. Are you gonna slide into the DMs or no?
No, I think I want to meet them in person.
You want to attract that energy
yes,
in person?
Exactly.
What is the biggest event that you've worked when it comes to DJing so far in Toronto?
Gotta remember. I think Daisy Fest. Like there's like this
Oh yeah, I saw some clips of that.
Yeah, they have like this Daisy Canadian music festival.
That's like the Indian.
The Indian community, yeah. And they had this girls rock show. I think that's what it was called.
Oh wow, that's cool. Where did they held that at?
That one is at Bar Cathedral.
Okay.
It was in December last year. I think that was the biggest one.
Was that the biggest venue? How many?
Not venue, but I guess biggest show.
Like biggest show? And what was the turnout for audience?
I don't know.
Probably like a lot of people.
It was a lot of people though.
The Desi community is pretty big.
It
Shout
is,
out.
Yeah.
So we met at Fiji's event.
Yes.
Rome Nation. Shout out. So he has a show that he's working on right now. Are you going to be involved in that, or are you going to come out for that? Or?
I don't even know when it is.
I don't know when it is either, but I told him that I would mention it on the podcast because he's working on it right now. I was actually supposed to be helping him with the auditions.
Sessions 8, right?
Yeah, it's session 8. Session 8, yeah. So what's your thoughts on his sessions? And I know you did. Which one?
I did a lot, actually.
Did you do a bunch of them?
You
did the all-female lineup too.
Yes.
How was that?
It was good. It was beautiful. Like the energy was so good in the room. I had so much fun DJing. I met so many great artists, and so I actually want to shout them out because
sure, go ahead.
Like when I started as an artist, like not as an artist, but like performing really in like the Toronto music scene. Those are one or two of my first shows. And like what introduced me to like a lot of like the scene, you know?
Yeah, you're gonna meet artists like through these events.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in particular that you want to shout out?
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to my friend Spitty. Like he put me on to a lot of like these shows. Like he is the one who brought me on to Sessions 2. Okay. Back in like 2021.
Is that when he had the first session?
Yeah, the first session that I performed at.
Okay. I performed. I think it was like session 3, I think, but it was like February last year. That was my first one. So I did a couple tracks. But I remember I liked the venue. I forget what it was called. Yeah, no, I like Clinton's a lot. But there was another venue that you were the DJ for.
Brickbox.
Was that it?
Yeah, on Queen Street. Yeah.
I like that venue. The
nice
open
venue.
Style studios type space, the white walls. I like that one.
Me too.
And you did a very good job because I saw that you had your brother come to help you for your set. When you wanted to go and sing. That's so cool. I was gonna ask, like, does your family, what do they think of your music stuff? Are they supportive of you? Yes.
So like they actually are kind of the reason that I am doing music.
Really?
Yeah. So when I mentioned I grew up learning and teaching and performing, it's because my parents, like my family, they have for like generations actually, back in India, my dad's family, they had an Indian classical music school, and there's a lot of, like, everybody that's like my dad's cousin and stuff, they're all like recording artists or teachers or something in like the music space in India. And so when my dad came to Canada, he was like, hey, I want my kids to be in touch with this and stuff. So him and my grandpa, they started like a Indian classical music school in Brampton. We had like hundreds of students. I grew up with that. That's like the environment I grew up with. And so I was always sitting in classes, and then every 6 months or so, like my dad would host like shows for the students, and then he'd also have like something like the like American Idol type thing, but for like the community. Yeah. And there's a lot going on like that. So yeah, they are really, really supportive. And music is just really intertwined in my family. And
as you know, I'm Indian too. Okay. And but I was born in South Africa, but yeah, my family's Indian, and like the Indian community as a whole, like with Bollywood and everything, and the Desi culture, like is very celebratory of music and food and dance and different colors. My mom watches Bollywood movies all the time. Is so irritating sometimes. But my mom used to do classical dancing and Indian classical dancing as well. Nice. So that's really cool that you're coming from that background because it's literally in your blood. And I feel that. I know what that's like, especially growing up seeing like your family members, cousins, aunties, all that dancing. It's just a part of the culture.
Right.
So it's good that that's like an inspiration for you.
Thank you.
And I personally would like to say this. I like to see more brown girls in the hip hop spaces, in the pop music spaces, and in like the music scene in general, because like we have a few, but we don't have as much as I'd like to see. So like I'm very happy that I'm born at a time where like I can see that and witness that. So you're gonna be super successful. I can feel it. You have a good energy. What do you have planned next? What's your goal? What do you want to accomplish? Is there any particular, I know you mentioned artists you want to work with, but what's your goal like with the music?
Okay, so I have a couple goals. For one, as a DJ, I really want to get more club gigs. I want to be more regular. Like I want like a couple gigs a week, at the club. And I want like a couple brand deals. Like I want to be a little more elevated as a DJ. And then as an artist and producer, I am working on an EP that I plan on releasing like in the fall, closer to the fall and winter.
You're working on that right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's like going to be my first project of music. I've only like done singles and features up until now, a couple of those. But yeah, I really want to step into like my artist development phase and stuff.
Okay. So the singing and the songwriting?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And then lastly, I also host this show called The Mixdown. And
tell us about that.
Yeah, so The Mixdown is a artist showcase series that I started last year in May. And basically the intention behind that was to give artists a professional platform and professional performance experience. Because in the year before, like in the like months before I started that, I performed at a lot of shows, including sessions and a lot of different ones, and I had a lot of different like experiences, and I was like, wait, but this isn't what I would have expected from like in comparison to like what I grew up with experiencing. So I was like, let me give people my experience now. So then that's what I started the Mixdown for. And like also I wanted to give my friends like the platform and the vision that I had for them, because not everybody was like seeing it for themselves or like doing that for themselves. So I was like, let me give you something where you are performing at the level that I think you should be, and also like content and promotion wise. So that's kind of what I started with in May, and like the community really came through. Like the first show was oversold, and like
that's amazing.
I've had 4 since then, and they've all been sold out. And
what venue are you doing this out
so
of?
the first 3 I did downtown Toronto at a public library, actually. So there's this library on Bloor and Bathurst called the Palmerston Library. It's like right across from Bathurst Station, and underneath they have a music venue.
Oh, nice.
It's so low key, but it's like it's the perfect venue. It's just perfect. Like, yeah, it was just literally perfect for the Mixdown. And yeah, and the next one, like the last one I did, the 4th one, I did it in Brampton, because as you know, I'm from Brampton, and I really wanted to give people from my city the opportunity to be able to come out, because I know a lot of them couldn't bus it or drive all the way downtown.
Okay, yeah, that's excellent. So if someone wants to come and be on that, should we wait for that to stop? Yeah. Okay, we can pause for a second.
Okay.
I'm very interested in this, though.
I think she's gone.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, guys, sorry for the interruption there. So what we were talking about was the Mixdown. So let us know, like, if an artist is interested in that and maybe they don't know who you are or something like that, but they want to showcase their talent. What's the process of doing that? Where can they message you?
So there is an Instagram page called the.mixdown, like the .mixdown, because somebody took the Mixdown. I don't know why, but yeah. It's called The Mixdown, or you can message me on my own Instagram. It's prod by Mrii, PRODBYMRII. And really what I look for is one, like kind of like a genuine connection with the artist, because I don't want to just blindly bring anybody on, you know? And then also like artists who are like working really hard to bring their music career to like the main career, you know? A lot of people just do it on the side. Like that's okay too, like do it on the side, but I really look for people that are like grinding to make that
Yeah,
their
they really
thing, you
want-
know,
this
like
is-
it's all or nothing type
Yeah.
thing.
That's good. So the
Yeah.
passion is key. The drive
Mhm.
is key. Can you get her off of her
Yeah,
bag?
the drive, the seriousness.
Guys, this is what happens when you have like wild animals in my this
So
is the
cute.
jungle. They're on her bag right now. That's so it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's super exciting because
Mhm.
for the next one, is there one scheduled? Because I'd like to come.
Yes, it's on July 22nd, and it's on Saturday, July 22nd, and it's in Brampton.
July 22nd. Okay, cool.
Yes.
And you live in Brampton,
I
right?
do,
Okay,
yeah.
perfect. So can you just a couple more questions and then
Mhm.
we'll get you to plug in your socials and stuff again and like do an outro. But for the music scene in Toronto, what I ask this often with producers and musicians here in Toronto, what do you think is missing in our music scene and what do you think can improve? And is there something that you want to do with your with the work that you're doing to help improve it?
Okay, so what's missing? Let me think. Well, I feel like one thing that's missing is some sort of what's the word? It's kind of like funneling out, you know? Like there's an abundance of things going on right now, like music communities, different like niches in the communities.
Lots of saturation.
It's really, really oversaturated.
Okay.
And
I agree with that.
yeah, I feel like there
Definitely.
should be some sort of like sifting out, I think. I feel like that sounds
Filtering
rude.
and-
Yeah. Like, and it sounds kind of rude, but
No, I
filtering out of
understand.
like what should stay and what shouldn't.
Mhm.
Like it's I don't want to sound rude, but it's not everything for everybody, you know?
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Like the tastemakers in the city are the ones that put on the artists with real drive and real talent.
Yeah.
Whereas the artists that are kind of like, just reproducing like recyclable material that is
Yes.
like over and over again.
Yes, and that goes for music. There's
mhm.
shows people are hosting, and it's like you can tell it's not genuine, you know? Like there's a lot of shows that I've seen where it's really just to make money.
Yeah.
They don't care about the artists. They don't care about the people that are there,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't care about the experience.
Right. And for that, it's because, everything on this planet revolves around money.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a business at the end of the day. So the true talent gets lost in the sauce and sometimes
Mhm.
can like I heard someone say that hard work will always overpower
Yes.
talent,
Mhm.
but then some people are on the fence with that because like I don't know, like sometimes God-given talent isn't beatable, but the person that's putting in the work, they're putting in the work and they're serious. Like the
Mhm.
artists that you're attracting to the mix down, those artists might get further over
Mhm.
talent, right? So then when these artists start to realize, oh my God, I'm making money, like I'm making streams, I'm getting sponsorships, I'm getting invited to this event, whatever, et cetera, like then the money just becomes the goal.
Mhm.
So I see that happening, but I think a lot of artists are in broken spaces and they just want to get out the projects or they want to get out they want to get out of their situation and they think
Mhm.
that like, okay, the ticket to do this is music, let me just get super viral on
Yeah.
TikTok or SoundCloud, but it doesn't work for every
Mhm.
artist. So you're right, it's super saturated.
Yes.
It's like an artist like Ice Spice, she just came out of nowhere, but it's because she blew up on where? SoundCloud.
Mhm.
That is like, I personally think that's like one in like 500,000 people will get to like, not even, maybe one in a million will get to experience just going viral out of nowhere.
Mhm.
So it's being put on at the right time, having the right artists be put on. I think the tastemakers, you're right. The tastemakers should try to seek out artists that are genuinely talented, but also bring something different
Mhm.
to the table. Like when we think of The Weeknd, he's so different. There was nobody like him when he came
No.
out.
Yeah.
Same with Drake. Like
Mhm.
these are one in a millions that you can't reproduce.
Like, nobody's gonna be
It's
the next
not.
Drake, you
Yeah,
know?
it's gonna be like maybe 100 years before we see another like
Mhm.
Drake. To be honest, or 50 years. But like I see what you're saying, and but I think what's your thoughts on like our Toronto music scene? Do you think that we're like a decently good city to start in?
Mm-hmm.
for
a lot of people
music?
shit on Toronto. Like,
Yeah, I
they'd be like,
noticed.
oh, like I want to leave Toronto. I want to go to Atlanta or New York or something or LA. And like, I love those places, but Toronto is
We should put ourselves
yes,
on. I always
exactly,
say this.
exactly,
Yeah.
and that's another thing that's missing. Like, the biggest thing, we are not putting ourselves on as much as we should be.
Yeah, and we are competing against each other.
Exactly.
Which is good for the market, but
Mhm.
not like for
Not
the
for each other,
community.
no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, energetically, it's bringing us down.
It is like,
Yeah.
okay, you're a female artist, right? I'm a female artist. I
Mhm.
could have easily been like, no, she's a female artist. I don't want her to come because then I'm going to put her music on and then it's going to take attention away from me. No, it doesn't. I don't think it genuinely works that way. And the reason why people are like talking about Atlanta specifically is because the artists like support each other.
Exactly.
They build each other up. And like, I'm not going to allow Toronto to get, to have a crab in the bucket mentality.
Exactly.
I'm going to put on every artist that I think is, talented, and even if they happen to be better than stuff that I've done. That's the attitude, that's the mentality you should bring into, and that's why I chose to do this podcasting stuff. But sorry, I'm digressing. I guess super passionate about music. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think we need a better like a support system for our artists. And you're contributing to that because doing these shows, you're allowing artists to come on, get their performance value, practice. Do you enjoy performing? Or
I love it.
Yeah, you like
it's so
it?
much fun.
What's something that do you find is like the most unique to you about performing?
Me? I guess I think it's the way I perform because and I know like my performance is like there's a long way to go still, but I guess like vocally I've been trained pretty well.
Yes, I noticed your melodies and your harmonies were good live. They were good live.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I feel like that really is something that's a little bit unique. I know there's a lot of artists that are also just like they're really good or even better, but like I feel like that's one thing that is really unique about my performance.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so for the next little last part of our podcast, I want you to obviously just again remind them who you are, where to find you, what they can be excited about that you have coming up, and then after that I'll cut and do just an outro that I want you to do. But yeah, okay, yeah. So everyone, this is Mrii. Thanks for coming to the podcast. Again, just let them know who you are and where they can find you.
Yeah, I'm Mrii. Like I said, I am a producer, engineer, DJ, singer, songwriter, and event producer. And you can find me on Instagram at PRODBYMRII. That's Prod by Mrii. And you can also find me at The Mixdown, which is THE_MIXDOWN. Yeah. And yeah, anywhere else, like you can just find my website, which is prodbymrii.com. And I also have music out everywhere on every streaming platform at just Mrii. You can look up MRII and you can check out my music. And yeah.
Excellent. Me. Okay, thanks so much for coming. That's a wrap. Peace.
The clouds.
Hey guys, this is Mrii. You're listening to The Heat with Keats, and subscribe for more.